Welcome everybody to another episode of Ascension Talk with Ariella, where I live stream into this Facebook group. So for those of you who are watching live, it is an honor to have your presence with us on this Thursday. And indeed, we live stream into here on the first 3 Thursdays of each month at 4 p.m. UK. So for those of you who are watching this back on YouTube, it's live streamed into my avatar Ascension Community in Facebook. And when you're actually there watching it live, which some of you are now, you can ask questions as well. And we're very happy to try and answer as many of your questions as you can. So hello to all of you who are watching this live. I'm going to be very, very excited to introduce my guest to you in just a moment, because we have got an incredible show of our Ascension Talk with Ariella for you today. And really just to share what these shows are about. So we talk about anything and everything ascension related. So we're all having these sometimes often confusing, baffling experiences on our ascension journeys. And it's really a platform for us to share and discuss all different aspects of ascension. It could be something about your purpose, your mission, your intuitive gifts, ascension symptoms, health, absolutely anything. We're here to support you on your path. And as I say, if you want to ask your questions to us live, then you do need to be here at 4 p.m. on the first 3 Thursdays of each month when we're live streaming. So welcome, incredible souls. So we have got here for you today 3 amazing beings. So the incredible Sally Pullinger, who is a trance medium, who channels a spirit, a benevolent entity called Chung Fu. Also with Sally is her incredible daughter Sophie. These guys have got a really strong soul contract. I'm sensing really super strong connection. Yes, Sally is an amazing channel. We have the absolute blessing of being able to meet Chung Fu today. Sometimes I believe Isis comes through as well. So it'd be good to see your questions below. I will certainly be asking some of mine as well. And we'll just go through the process together. We're going to explain a little bit about how Sally channels. First of all, there's an opportunity to hold some space, to be in service, and to support the presence of Chung Fu coming forward. We're going to talk you through that. But first of all, Sally and Sophie, a very, very warm welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello.
Yeah, thank you for asking us.
It's a little bit crazy, really, that we're in separate spaces, isn't it? Because
go on, tell them how close we live to each other.
We're actually about 15 minutes down the road from each other, aren't we?
Yeah. Which I imagine is very rarely the case with the people that you interview. Hey,
it's mostly across that big pond, yes. So, but you guys are in Glastonbury, which many of our viewers will know. And if you haven't visited Glastonbury, we do recommend definitely you come over and experience the energy. But do you guys just want to give a little bit of an intro into yourselves, into Chung Fu, how you work, and anything else that you feel guided to share?
You start.
Well, we've been living in Glastonbury for a really long time. We are not newcomers. We've been here for nearly 40 years now.
Yeah.
So we've been here a long time, and we've recently been looking into sort of moving a little bit away from the house that we're in. But the truth is, it's got us. We love being here in Glastonbury, because it is an extraordinary international pilgrim center, basically, and a very apt location for the work that we do. Absolutely. People do come here literally from all over the world, really seeking soul guidance, which is our work. So yeah, I'll let Sally carry on.
Yeah, we live in Avalon, so that's my way of putting it. It's Glastonbury, but it's Avalon. It is the gateway to, in Celtic speak, the Isle of the Dead. So the Isle of the next world. So in past times, people used to bring their dead to bury here, and so it became that became known. And even when the Christians came to kind of take over here, they kept that sanctity of the land. They built the first Christian abbey here. They knew this was a powerful spiritual place. And I think that's probably the deepest thing about my beliefs, is that the earth, is a living being. And so I love the earth. I love to, if I had my way, I'd work in the garden a lot more and be on the earth a lot more. But this is a time when the earth is speaking through those of us who have the ears to hear, I guess, to those of us who have the ears to hear. So we're all kind of talking to each other, really. I mean, there's a big community, as Ariella says, of beings who really know the significance of this time, and that we are moving constantly towards this it's either a moment of extraordinary change, or it's continuing moments of extraordinary change, which have been termed the ascension process. The truth is about Chung Fu is that he's very interested in the part of the ascension process that is the inner workings, like the soul development part. Basically, in his view, ascension is an inner process which is going on all the time, but that is accelerating at the moment. And also has a lot to do with the sun. So he talks a lot about the Christ energy being the solar presence coming through from, like, the Christ energy is the power of creation coming through from the central sun. So in his speak, he's coming forward. He's an ascended being. That means he's not incarnating anymore, and he can help us in that sense see where we can't. And what he really does is to help us move the dark, the difficult, the stuck, the pain, which is that part of the ascension process that is so hard, is what moving the blocks, because we can't ascend until we're clear. So it's about becoming clear channels. That's really the work that Chung Fu does, helping people to move the karmic, whatever you call it, the content that we've come in with. And he makes it all, he really makes it in a sudden way. I mean, fun's a bit of an overstatement, but he at least brings a lot of joy in. He's a really joyous being, and he's got so much love, and he comes in with this kind of, he cracks jokes and stuff. I mean, when he knows you, he can really, really pull the punches.
I do love a funny channel. I have to, to say, I do appreciate a funny master, ascended master.
That's it.
Who is Chung Fu, Sally?
Well, you see, the thing is, many beings, obviously, because he's been around a lot. I mean, he talks to us about lives in China when he's been a sage to the emperors. He talks to us with us about lives in Tibet, quite a few by the feel of it, maybe 4 or 5 even, being a monk, a lama. He talks to us about being a barefoot doctor in India. He's clearly been in Egypt. He's clearly been in Atlantis, because he's bringing forward at the moment a lot of knowledge about crystals. In fact, that's what we're doing at the moment. We're presenting a course called Crystalline Ascension, which is where Chung Fu is opening up the inner, the mystery, if you like, of crystals, of the living essence, the inner light, the dimension, the crystalline dimension. So yeah,
in that context, he actually told us that he actually incarnated into the crystalline matrix for 600 years. That's one of his many existences and lifetimes, if you like, you know. So that gives you a little, and I just in terms of when Sally said the many, it's exactly that, because I think that Chung Fu, presents, as it were, a personality. I'll just sort of show this wonderful psychic painting that was done by a beautiful
Slightly in the shadow.
Yeah, anyway, it
Oh,
just
there
is
it
what
is.
it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
And a lovely friend of ours, Dory, who is a psychic artist and has done a number of amazing paintings of people's guides, and she painted that.
And she lives even closer to you than we do.
Yeah.
Dory,
we're gonna have to get together for tea, you know that. I mean, we've been talking about that anyway, but please bring your psychic artist friend as well.
Yeah,
we'll have a great channel session.
Only if you want her to sort of go, oh, I can see your, you know, whichever guide it is.
Yes, please.
About you
know, that definitely.
Yeah. And what I was going to say is just that yes, Chung Fu presents this, as it were, personality really for our minds, because as I understand it, really, he is not a he is part of a collective, as many of these beings who are coming through at this time are. They're not really a personality in spirit form. They are collectives of beings who are absolutely committed to this to getting us through really the eye of the needle that we are in right now, which is, you know, or the eye of the storm, or whatever other analogy you want to use. But it's, you know, one could swear at this point with how intense it is. Absolutely. You know, so like it's a very intense time, and they're all, you know, they're all here to support us to make these shifts, you know.
And
carry on.
Sorry, no, I was just going to say, well, firstly, what a blessing and an honor it is to be able to facilitate this incredible connection for our viewers to Chung Fu. And for some of them, it's going to be the first time they've consciously connected with Chung Fu, at least. So this is going to be very cool. Would you talk to us a little bit about, because you're going to go into trance in a few moments, and we know from speaking before that this can take a few moments for the energy to come through, and we're going to hold space that. Could you just talk to the viewers a little bit about how you channel, Sally, and how this process works, so we can go into this?
So it does take more than a few moments, and it is a complete shift. So I am going to move out of my body. So I've been a trance medium for a very long time now. I was 28, so that's like a long time, 40, 42, 43 years. And basically, I always used to just go straight into Chung Fu. But I did a big piece of work on myself 20 years ago, became a priestess of goddess. I never thought the two things would cross over, but 5 years ago, I was in here going into Chung Fu, and another presence came in. I didn't know what it was, who it was. I had Chung Fu talking to me, telling me to relax. I had to go very deep. I had to let go on a level I wasn't used to. I literally couldn't move, couldn't do anything. And then this presence started coming in, and my neck felt as if it was about a foot long, and my arms started going out. And I thought I was a bird, you know, and this sound started coming. That is very high sound. So what you're going to hear when I start going, and that now happens, and it's 5 years ago, and literally every time I change space from daily space, Sally space, and start to go into, well, I used to go straight into Chung Fu, but now when I open up, it's like she owns the temple. It's like, oh, right, yeah, you're like, I'm the temple, and oh, you're opening the doors, right, you're mine, I'm coming in. And she comes in, and this presence is Isis. It's Isis, goddess Isa. She calls herself Isa, which I actually was very grateful for, because when she started coming in, Isis was referred to on the news, in the media, as the you know,
terrorists.
The terrorists.
Yes, of course.
And one of the people listening to one of our courses, our live transmissions, wrote an email saying, I can't believe you're bringing ISIS in. It's totally inappropriate. How you, it's terrifying. Ugh. And we had to write back saying, no, excuse me, this is the Egyptian goddess Isis, who had the name first, you know. But anyway, she calls herself mainly Isa, and you hear that sometimes when she's coming in. I very much doubt today, with a new, you know, event like this, that she'll necessarily speak English, but she does sometimes speak English. She comes in normally with her star language, with these impossibly high notes, which I croak and attempt to get, that I can feel her. She comes in at the root and crown together. So my whole body goes kind of like that. And I feel her coming Kundalini style up. And then I feel her coming in and taking hold of my brain, and with these kind of sounds. I am a musician, so you know, she knows I'm a musician, but you know, I'm 70 and my voice ain't a top sop anymore. Top soprano ain't my thing. But my voice has gone down very low because I channeled this bloke, you know. So, actually, it's like, that's a bit, you know. So yeah, so we'll hopefully calm you down over that bit and assure you that a wild thing hasn't entered the room. And once she has done her blessing, which she may do in her star language, or I think that's probably what she'll do, but anyone's guess. Then she leaves. That's like her blessing the temple and saying, right, you can all carry on now. I'm present, you know. And then Chung Fu comes in, basically. Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. But it's a very different energy. And those of you who can feel that, you know, if you're used to feeling spirit energies, you will feel that shift as you know, this presence first comes in, and then Chung Fu comes in.
We better, because of the timing factor, I think it would be good to start as soon. And what I think would be good to sort of internally inform Chung Fu that he's really going to have, you know, 20-25 minutes to kind of, so that he's not. We have to do that with Chung Fu, because obviously he comes from timeless time, and we have to sort of give him a sense of what he's coming into. Otherwise he will you know, he'll sort of take off thinking he's got 2 hours, you know, and not
he's become pretty good at doing online things, but as you say, you know, it's like they will go on for 4 or 5 hours unless we give him some kind of time.
It's a different forum, and normally Sally is used to channeling for a lot longer, so you know, we're very honored to have you all for the time that we do, and thank you for facilitating this incredible transition. Well, I'm going to get out the way and hand over to you guys. I mean, I'm excited. I love the channeling phenomenon, and I know many of our viewers, if not all of them, are the same. So we're going to hold space while Chung Fu comes in. I recommend that those of you who are watching this hold space, you know, and tune into the energy and see whether you can feel that shift. This is going to take a few minutes. It could take up maybe sort of 10 minutes, something like that, just to manage your expectations. So, you know, for those of you, we're going to hold space here. Please do hold space while you're watching this at home as well. It's also the perfect opportunity just for us to all take some busy time out of our schedules and just be and go within and have a still moment. So with that said, I'm now going to hand over to Sophie and to Sally and Chung Fu.
Just to say that I will be making sound, I will be chanting a bit, whatever I'm doing, I'm just doing it because I'm getting myself out of the way. I'm also entering into her temple myself, just so you know what I'm doing. I'm praying, I'm opening up, and I'm making it known that I'm available for her to enter. And so I wish you a beautiful connection today, everyone. And in your heart, just feel how we are all one with Goddess God, with the source of all love and light. And just let yourself drop deep into relaxation. In your own way, you pray and you connect. Oh, My beloved children, I see you. I greet you. I am here with you, my beloved. I am Isa. I am mother of creation, my children. I am here in your world, that you may remember me, that I am within you, the breath of life. I am within you, the pulsing of your heart. I am within you, the love that flows from the source of your being, where we are one. My beloveds, I call to you to remember me. That I may flow forth amongst you all. That you may feel the joy that is the true essence of your being. I am present. I am always here. I am one with you. I bless you. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Greetings. Yes. Greetings. Welcome. Blessings and peace.
Greetings and yes, welcome, Chung Fu. Thank you so much for being here with us.
May the living spirit that is within all things come forward and bring the blessings of all higher selves to be present deep within you all, and bring forward the brightest light, the deepest love, and the greatest well-being and deep understanding that is beyond the mind. Blessings and peace.
I like your energy, Chung Fu.
Do they see beauty or humor is in the eye and heart of the beholder? Peace be one.
Chung Fu, so Sally was talking a little bit about your teachings on Ascension and how what you've been sharing and helping people to see that it's very much about this inner soul development and this inner soul journey. What can you share with the viewers who are watching this live or back on the replay in terms of the overall ascension journey, the personal ascension journey, and perhaps where we are at the moment in the overall planetary ascension journey?
Yes, indeed, beloveds. You know, all of you who are gathered here, you know very well of these very powerful times that you are in, that you have decided to come upon the earth at this time. Means either that you didn't know anything that was going on and you're in a great shock, which can be, but also that you really knew that this time on earth is a great opportunity for your soul's evolution, an opportunity that comes at certain points in the time-space cycle, but not very often. It comes in that sense from the great source of creation, that as huge creation powers are mobilizing within what we can call the heart of the universe, well, there's a big shift. It shifts all around the universe, and all beings, which includes all stars, planets, all galaxies, constellations, and all beings all around the universe are going through a huge shift. And that, of course, depends exactly where you are, as you say there, in your own evolutionary journey, and yes, where you are in relation to the planet's evolutionary journey. It's all about the constant process of the manifestation of the divine plan throughout the universe, and that's very interconnected. So coming to the earth, who is interconnected with all the planetary beings and all other galaxies, all the way, like yourselves, to the very center of the universe, the earth is managing a huge energetic shift. And for the earth, it's about the sun. The energy from the sun is so strong, and it has been at other times, and there are flashes, there are powers that are coming from the sun, which are quantum of light that is very rare, it is a particular kind of light that's being emitted that shows up literally every speck, you could say, of what has been, every speck of what is possible, enabling people, human souls, and in fact all souls, not just human souls, to make re-informed decisions, to change, in other words, the actual book of life, the blueprint that you have in this life. There's so much that's possible created. This is created by, in the physical plane, by the power of the sun, but that is, of course, if you like, the microcosm of the macrocosm, which is that the central heart of the sun is pulsing with enormous power on the inner plane. And so that is why, you know, when people ask for specific prophecies at this time regarding time itself, of when are these things, when, what, how, in terms of time manifestation, it's difficult, because time is being affected by consciousness, is changing, in other words, and space is changing too. So in one sense, there's an acceleration, an augmentation, an empowerment going on at a very cellular level. So I just stop for a moment because, you know, I can literally go on forever. So I just make sure my question and my answer is to your question and ongoingly. You can ask more. Peace.
Yeah, very much so. Thank you so much. So for the viewers watching this, what would you say would be like the main, I know I'm speaking in linear speak here, but it is nice for us to receive it in a logical way sometimes. What would be sort of the top 2 or 3 things for people to focus on in their own ascension journey to help them to like get on that evolutionary fast track?
Well, I think it's very good to keep it accessible and simple, so that, you know, my name that I've taken for this astral incarnation is Chung Fu, which means good faith in a truth. Inner truth first, but it implies this ability to believe in your own truth. So the most important thing, you see, is for people to love themselves, to get to a place of having great compassion and understanding for your own being, to realize that you are a good being, that you have every intention to be the very best being you can be. And knowing that, it's completely obvious, and it can be almost, you could say, taken for granted that you're in touch with the divine. This personal relationship with the divine, however you call that, you can call that divine a tree, you can call it the sky, you can call it Mother Earth, God, Goddess, you know, Yeshua, you know, Jesus, you can call Yahweh. The name is your human, you know, with all due respect, invention. The main importance is your heart and the deep inner love connection you have with the divine. For that purpose, you need to understand you have a self, a higher self, an ascended self, in fact. You could say a self that already descended from the source, that is essentially already in contact with the source, with the divine. That's a very important mental understanding that you need, a mental building block to realize you have all you need, but you do need to awaken it, recall it, bring it back to you. That having been said, the other side of the coin is that you have to be very truthful about what isn't ascended, what is in fact so descended, it's almost gone down a hole, down a well, under a cave, and somewhere completely out of sight, and you've got to find it. You have to find every part of you. Why? Well, otherwise you're going to ascend with just a bit of you, aren't you? You want to all ascend, you want to get really to where you're going, and you've got a lot to bring back to you. So it's a time of a lot of soul retrieval, a lot of deep inner work, healing yourself. Any place you feel uncomfortable, angry, any place you don't like yourself, any place you feel inside yourself negative, ashamed, guilty, afraid, all these words that basically mean that a part of you is calling to you for help, and you are the helper. So it's about integrating your we could say higher self, or your already ascended self, the part of you that knows beyond your mind what's going on, that is really understands something, because you've come for this purpose. And you have to be able to connect that part with the part that you're healing. So self-healing, self-awareness, deep consciousness, and the determination to become a whole being. That's the prerequisite for ascension. Now, I'm not saying, oh, someone's there going, oh, you're 80%. No, you're not going to get through. You're only 30%. No, there's no one judging you. And the truth is, it's your intention that counts. No one's looking to say, well, you're this much prepared or you're not. No, it's inside you. And what matters is your sincere desire to be at one with the divine, to live in a place of loving wholeness with yourself. And of course, that's going to help you live in loving wholeness with all those around you. And that, I would say, is the very simple way to put it, rather than all the highfalutin techniques and one thing or another. Just really to live in your heart, to live according to the principles that are really at the heart of every mystical, spiritual, religious teaching there is. And that is really your work. Peace.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for putting that in such an eloquent and concise way for us. I think we can all understand the teachings there, and it gives us some good direction. So for those of you who are watching this live, and I know there are quite a few of you, you can also type in your questions. So if you have any questions for Chung Fu is a master. He can answer, he can help you with anything. So please do ask a question. I will keep my eye out for those. Often a question that we hear, I certainly get asked this a lot of other teachers, healers, etc., the same. People wanting to know, how can they align with their highest purpose?
So it's so interesting, this business of high and low and highest and lowest and all of that. You have a purpose, and you are here on earth primarily because of that purpose. This is a holistic universe. So just as I said, this is a special time. You knew that, you came. So there's a purpose straight away. You knew there was a big job to do, that you're a part of that is to be in alignment with this huge situation of evolution upon the earth at this time, this opportunity. You both bring your highest purpose, which is to evolve yourself to the best and highest that you can be, deepest. I like to sometimes say deepest, most connected to the divine. So how to discover it? Well, you see, you're going to discover it when you're in alignment to your divine self. So again, it's about orientation. It's about love. You know, your purpose that comes from your divine, your higher self, is always about love. Earth is that place, and there are other places in the universe, but it is supremely the place where you learn to love. You have every challenge that comes to you that can knock you off that center that is love. And all of you know it. All of you are working deeply in that way. You understand what I mean. So first of all, it is to say that general purpose is very important. The next thing to say is, don't get complicated. Ask yourself in your heart, what brings you joy? What makes you feel alive with all the energy? How does that work? Look into your life. What do you love? If you don't love any of it, well, stop all of it energetically, as it were, and really come within and ask yourself a very simple question. What do I really want to do? Now, of course, I understand, you know, you get into situations, you know, you have to earn money, you have to take jobs that sometimes you don't like, and so on. I understand all of that. But also, it is to maintain an awareness that with this self-love and this knowing of you, whatever you may be sort of having to do that you've signed up for the time being, you are in control of your life. You can change it. Now, again, you may say, no, Chung Fu, you don't understand. I got 6 children. I got a husband that's an alcoholic. No, I can't change it, Chung Fu. You could say that to me, but I'm going to say back to you, I'm not saying on the outside just now. You just have to come inside and become incredibly strong and present within yourself. That is a lot of work in itself. And that is where we begin. Because nothing on the outside of you is going to change until you are very, very strong and sure inside. So that is the work that we do, is a very inner work of finding that strength, finding that courage and that conviction, that total faith in you, because you know you're a really good person with a power of love inside you that you want to share with the world. And from that, everything comes forward. But I would work individually with you if there are special skills that come that are very clear to you, because they bring you and everyone around you joy, upliftment, love, and divine presence. Peace.
I loved your response there. Yeah, the courage to go inside and the belief to take action on what you believe that you can create is such a key point for us all. Thank you for sharing that. There's a beautiful soul sister of mine. Her name is Isa, actually. Beautiful Isa, hello, thank you for tuning in. And she's asking a question. It's something that a similar question to I had written down to speak to you, so of course it's in a perfect alignment. Isa's question is, how can one develop one's intuitive connection with source?
Yes, it's a good question, because often people again get so sort of flowery and wordy about these things. But I say to you, stay in your body and notice and really learn to relax and really learn to expand your centers. So I do a lot of work with my beloveds on expanding the chakras, breath work, visualization work, colors, seeing colors, but really physically, energetically making sound. Developing your system is essential, your chakra system, your instrument, because your intuition, it's a word for what already is deep within you. It's right there, but you don't notice it because maybe your mind is going at 100 miles an hour, or you're having to do so many things you don't have time to really listen inside. It's all there. But the thing is to create space. If you think of yourself as a, when you start as with all the lids screwed up, and then you turn the chakras, you spin them, and that's like you're taking off the lid and you're opening up, and the genie's in the bottle, and it's getting bigger, and there you are. You know what happens when you open all your centers and you go deep and you relax and you really listen, is that you realize you have some deep feelings that maybe you didn't notice. And rather than suppressing them, you go with them. So it might start with, oh, I can't stand that bloke at work. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's really making me angry just thinking about him. Oh. And you follow that thought and you realize, oh, he's just like my dad. And then that's it. Now it's all right. It's not him at work. It's me and my dad, right? And you start going in and you work where it's yours to work. You take on you 100%. Because when you do that, strangely enough, so much that was nick around you and all this kind of reflection and very unpleasant, perhaps, reflection, it goes away once you take on what was causing it. So basically, you are causal to your world. Mm-hmm. You are creating your world. Mm-hmm. You may not think so. You may feel, no, it was my mom, my dad, my last lover, my this, my boss. No, it's you. Mm-hmm. And that's the first precept, which I'm sure you're all aware of, that when you come back to you, now you can change, now you can grow, now you can find that intuition. Because what intuition is, it's what's in you. It's definitely working. It's just that you might not be hearing it. Mm-hmm. So you have to give it space, and you have to allow the negative, because the negative isn't always what it seems. As I said, it starts out as something in the here and now. And then as you follow it, you realize, oh, no. Actually, this goes back. Oh, I've always felt this, whatever it is. And it teaches you from inside once you really listen to it. So for me, in my work, it's opening the chakras, it's sounding, it's listening, it's calling in and invoking. And really that means visualizing that there are beings who help you, your guides and helpers. Now I say invoking because they need a gateway through which to come. If you visualize these beings, it doesn't mean you have to see them, by the way. You visualize them energetically. It's like you see a persona. You don't fill it in. It's like, those drawings where it's just a sketch, and you put that.
Lisa is very good at that because she has a very good connection with Yeshua. I know.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's it, you see. And the reason will be because you built that connection. I think people expect sometimes to just have a connection, and that can be so, but they will have always built it at some time. They will always have created it. Mm-hmm. So that is something to understand, that you can all have your own personal connection to the divine, but you have to build it. You have to create it. And that is something very specific that I also love to talk about with people.
Thank you so much for that. That's a very clear and beautiful answer. And thank you to Isa for writing in. So questions pouring in now, and we're probably going to need to just speed up a little bit here because we need to fit them all in.
That's what they always tell me, beloved.
So let's play with time and energy. So Sky Roth she's looking for some direction. She is a shepherdess of an animal sanctuary, and she's wondering what are the animals and her to do in soul service. So this is Sky Roth.
The animals are very important upon the planet at this time because they hear things that human beings can't hear. They know things. So what the service is between animals and humans is for humans to listen, to hear, to try to feel and sense. And looking after animals, of course, is the service that humans can give to animals. But this ability to listen to animals, this comes again when you when you quiet and write down, and when you ask the right questions. So with animals, you have to ask the right questions. What that really means is it has to be about the senses. Don't ask an animal to talk philosophy to you. You know, ask simple questions. Ask questions that have a yes or no answer, where the animal can just start to work with you like a pendulum does. So, you know, give me a sense, wag your tail, twitch your ear. Give the animal some good, easy ways to commune with you, and ask simple questions that have a yes or no answer. Peace.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We have a question here from, it's Dana Canetto. I hope I pronounced that correctly. She's she's going through quite a transition. She's really wanting to trust, and is wondering how she can find that peace within as we go through these sort of turbulent times.
You know, I'm seeing a lot of water with you, dear one. I think water is a really important energy for you, and to make sure you spend time around places of holy water, sacred water. Go to your local sacred spring, drink sacred water. Understand that the water, there are places in the earth where the waters are still very pure, but that you're sensitive. So, you know, I think you're feeling all of the disturbance on the planet. So commune with the water, send love through the water into the earth, and really know that this is sacred work. Try not to imagine you have to do very, very, you know, complicated things. Try to come to peace by working in a really simple way with water at this time. Peace.
Thank you so much. The elements of water, what a beautiful healing element that is. I think we could all do with some more healing water in our lives. Thank you so much. We unfortunately don't have a huge amount more time today. So what I'd love to do is, if there's a message for us that you would like to share, Chung Fu, I'd love to open space for that. And then perhaps, Sophie, you could talk to us a little bit about if people want to go on a further journey with you guys and Chung Fu, how can they get in touch with you?
I'll let Chung Fu.
Peace. I will be brief. I want to say to you, dear ones, that at this time of this process of purification called ascension by some, this soul purification, this preparation time, please understand that there are solar beings, solar deities coming into your world. And when you see the sun, remind yourself, oh yes, there are these beings who are asking to take your burdens. Give your burdens, give your pain, give your suffering to this most vast of fire beings, the solar beings, and understand that they're being dissolved, they're being taken, they're literally being lifted off you. Do that every day of your life. That is a wonderful practice. And I just leave you with that we have brought through as well for you, solar beings who speak to you, and that you might like to also familiarize yourself with these solar lords and deities. Blessings and peace to you.
I love the idea of the solar deities. That's very reassuring and beautiful to know. Peace, blessings, and so much gratitude to you, Chung Fu. Thank you so much for your amazing presence.
I think Chung Fu may like to do a sort of one sentence closing prayer in a second, but I will just answer your question about, you know, sort of ways in which you can connect with us. I mean, just going on the back of Chung Fu, just clearly wanting to really remind people about the solar lords and the solar beings. About 5 years ago now, we recorded some amazing transmissions really from from some solar lords. There are many, and these particular ones are from 4 of the solar lords who came forward to us at that time. More have come since, but these transmissions are on our website. We have a store, and we have lots of downloads of many different recordings and meditations and journeys, and a set of them are called the Solar Logos journeys. And so they are a series of journeys that people can take to go deeper with these beings and to really be guided into an awareness of these beings who are, as Chung Fu says, very much here to support us at this time. So that's one thing. The other thing is, right now we are actually we have done 2 of the sessions, but it would be very possible for anyone who is aligned to crystals, working with crystals. We have a course called Crystalline Ascension, which we have done 2 of the live sessions, but there are 5 more live sessions. If you're interested in that, go on our website and we have a commenting thing where you can just get in touch with us. And you can also apply for one-to-one sessions if you are also interested in that. Many different ways. And we do a monthly live call. All of those things you can find out by emailing us at info@deepsoulconnection.com.
And your website address
is www.deepsoulconnection.com.
deepsoulconnection.com, and I will put that link afterwards at the top of this live stream as well, so that people can access that.
Our live monthly calls that we do are a deep dive in themselves. They often are between 2.5 to 3 hours long, and we, Chung Fu goes very deep in those, and people can ask questions, etc. So,
well, I have to say, I mean, it was my first experience of Chung Fu. I've heard many things about Chung Fu, and of course, living so close to you guys, 15 minutes down the road, word carries, the word has been out, and I've been really wanting to connect with you guys and experience it for myself in such a long time, and I'm blown away. I mean, I'm honestly blown away, and my spirits feel very lifted, and I definitely feel this incredible wisdom and the love coming from Chung Fu. It has been such an honor and a pleasure. Thank you so much to all of you.
Thank you, Ariella. I'll let Chung Fu, unless you have anything more to say, but I know Chung Fu loves to just give a closing prayer, as it were. So whenever
I love Chung Fu to do that, and just thank you to everybody who has been watching. And yes, it's such an incredible opportunity for us all to come together like this, and for it to be so public in this day and age as well. What a blessing that we're able to do this. So thank you, and over to you, Chung Fu.
Thank you so much, dear one, for inviting me to come forward. Blessings and peace to all who are gathered here, and all those who come later to join us. And, there's no time where I am, which is why it's difficult for my beloveds to keep me in order. But I say thank you to the Time Lords as well for this moment of time to come forward to you all from the worlds of light. And may the living spirit that is within all things fill you all, every cell in your body, your heart and mind, with the power of your higher self, with your connection to divine source, enabling you to go forward on your life's path with power, with love, with joy, with presence, with certainty, confidence, and courage, bringing forward in your life all that your soul shows to you, as the beings around you, guides and helpers and beloveds, come closer and closer the more you open up. And so that you can create in your life beauty, peace, harmony, love, deep soul connection, and abundance, and deep understanding that is beyond the mind. Blessings and peace to you all.
Blessings.